Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Unfuck Yourself podcast. We are here doing it live per usual in front of our membership queens, our Unfuck Yourself membership queens. You can join them at any point. You get to sit in live on the podcast, and then you get a Q&A right after where you get 5 minimum tools and tips per membership, which equals whatever 5 times 4 is 20 20 total tools per month for $50 a month. So you can leave, join, whatever, anytime. We'll link that in the show notes for you. We are going to go into today kind of a sequel to our last episode. You heard me mention a little bit about how special we actually are and the lack of special that we see in ourselves. We have a whole training on that today for the podcast. I'm really excited about this one because, as you have heard me talk about before, my self image used to be in the trash can dumpster fire toilet, like down, down, down in the far dumps, so far down. I didn't even know if it was going to come out. But this very topic we're going to dive into today is the click that happened for me that began to take me out of the dumps and began to motivate me to do the self-image work to start to feel better and start to see myself for how special and unique I truly am. So everyone in here and listening to this is 1 in 8 billion special, okay? And before you're like, fuck this podcast, that's not true, goodbye, stay with me and let me just walk you through breaking down the limiting beliefs to get you to realize this. When we realize we are special and just how special we are, that opens so many doors, right? Because if we see how special and unique we are, we no longer compare ourselves to anyone else ever. So that means in relationships, you're not worried about some other girl walking down the street because you know that you are 1 in 8 billion people and you have a unique special sauce that nobody can give but you. When you are having a business, you know that nobody can get from anywhere else what you have to give in your business. And it's not the tools that you're selling or it's not the product you're selling that are special. It's you that make those things special. And you begin to realize that. That creates motivation to go do the business ideas or to go learn the things you want to learn to better your career because you're like, oh, well, I'm special. Like, I'm literally 1 in 8 billion fucking special and unique. Like, of course, this is going to work for me. In health, what happens with health is if we are disconnected from how special and unique we are on a soul level, we will start to get body ailments, body reflections to try and get us back into love with ourselves. If we are out of love with ourselves, we are going to create all kinds of body things happening, sickness and disease, to try to get our attention to help us fall back into love with ourselves, of seeing our special and uniqueness. Financially, if you're seeing how special you are, well, that means people are going to be like, oh my God, I need to pay this person whatever it is to pay to get them in my company, to get them to buy what they're selling, to whatever it is, because they can automatically see how very special you are. So feeling and not even just feeling, I would say even knowing how special you are, not on a logical level, because you might be like, yeah, we're all special. No, not on a logical level, but on a deep emotional level of fully emotionally feeling connected to just how special you are is going to open up so many doors for you, so much motivation for you. It's going to make you feel so much more purposeful. And I want to take you through today a whole kind of a rundown of how our souls work, how the higher self works, and really get you seeing and unlocking your brain to see how special you truly are. I don't expect you to believe it right now, especially your ego that doesn't like to die or get fired is probably like, no, you're not that special, like whatever. You are, because there's no one else who has your soul blueprint and your soul pull and your soul makeup. And I just want to your brain's going to get rewired today by me showing you the step-by-step process of how this works on like a source level, on a higher self level, on a soul level. And I'm really excited because realizing this for me is honest to God what changed everything. Like, you know how when people ask you, what's that one thing that changed everything for you? It was this for me. Like it, and I get chills because I could cry because seeing that you are 1 in 8 billion special, it's game over from there. Anything you want to do, you know that you're capable of. Anything that you want to create, you know that you can create. You know that there is literally no one like you. Like my biggest problem was comparing myself and like I was never enough compared to whoever person, whether it was funny enough, good enough at dance, whether it was hot enough, whether it was my legs weren't perfectly shaped well enough, like nothing was ever fucking enough. And when you start to, there's one thing of realizing and like making the click. And then there's another thing of actually doing the work to then continue to get yourself to remember how special you are. And that's where, of course, like the Glow Foundation and the Glow Formula and the Glow Retreats come in, right? Those help you lock it in. But today we're going to start with the foundation of the foundation of the foundation of that and just get your brain understanding and realizing how this works and proving to you from the source perspective why you actually are 1 in 8 billion special. So again, this is the foundation of the oh my God, words, foundation of the foundation of all there is to know about this. And it's like 0.0001% of the information that we have on this, but we continue that training in the Glow Foundation and Glow Formula at the Glow Retreats and that kind of thing. But this is going to really already be insane advanced information, even though it's foundational information, but you guys are elite, so we can make advanced foundation the foundation of the information that gets you really advanced information later. But this is going to unlock a lot of aha moments, wow moments for you, and like really starting to get your wheels turning of like, holy fuck, I actually am really fucking special. So we're gonna go back to the foundations. But again, if you can make this connection today, it is going to change your whole life. This is understanding this and making this click is what changed everything for me, like everything. So again, we're going to dive in and talk about why it's so hard for people to accept that they're special. And again, not like special, not 1 in 1 million special or not special just in your group of friends or not special just at work, but like 1 in 8 billion people special. So you again maybe have an inner like reaction going on of like I can feel special in a group, but like 8 billion people, fuck you, fuck that. And I know it's very hard to connect to right now. It will be way easier by the end of this podcast. And it makes sense because when people start to understand like why we think or do things, it becomes a lot easier to kind of undo the damage of. So today we're going to go in and start to understand why you've been programmed to not feel special. So I want you to ask yourself right now, could you stand up in front of 8 billion people? And 8 billion people means all the geniuses of the fucking world, like all the people who are incredibly genius, intelligent, hot, whatever it is of the world. And could you stand up in front of them and without any hesitation say, you are special and unique and not like any single one of them. And you have your own special and unique sauce in a way that nobody else could compete with, right? If the answer is no, that's very normal and it's not your fault. We were very much trained and programmed to think that way. And we'll get into why later. It's like a dark force thing naturally. So when we are born and when we grow up as a child, the person we want to pay attention to us the most is the one who usually doesn't. Who here can relate to that? The person we want, yay. The person we want the attention from the most is usually the person who's like, I'm getting out of here, right? Like they're either physically not present, they're emotionally not present, they're mentally not present. They're just like, you can't really feel them. Even if they're physically present, they're emotionally like, yeah. It's kind of like, the parent who looks down at their phone when the kid walks in and they're like, mommy, daddy, look at this. And then the mom or dad's like, yeah, that's cool. And then go back to their phone, right? Who here has, not that phones were really like a thing when we were, all like 5, but who here has had that experience in some way, right? But then what happened is the law of opposing forces. The more the world's telling you you're not special, actually is a big indicator of actually the more special you are. And the more, because what has to happen is, and we're going to get into this in a second, but our higher self orchestrates every single thing in our life. And I'll get into that deeper in a little bit. But because our higher self orchestrates every single thing in our life and everything is already planned, it planned for all those things around me to make me not feel special so that one day I would law of opposing forces like myself and I'd be like, fuck it, I'm done with this. I'm finally going to feel special. But what had happened was when I first started doing that was in my 10th grade, what's that, sophomore year of high school with dance. And I said, fuck this. I'm going to get really fucking good that these bitches aren't going to ignore me. Like my dance teacher is not going to ignore me anymore, you know? And no one's going to be able to deny that I'm the best one in this dance studio. Well, your girl with her fiery Aries Italian motivation did just that. And I went turned into a psychopath and I got really fucking good at dance. I would wake up, I would work out before school. I would go to school. I would eat like really, really clean and healthy. I would go home. I would stretch. I would go to dance class for like 5 to 6 hours and repeat and repeat. In the summer, I would find like studios to go to around that were open and I would train there. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Well, by the time it gets to my junior year of high school, my dance teacher and people at the dance studio and everyone starts to notice, oh my God, Allie got so good. I was not a naturally good dancer. Like now some people are naturally good. That wasn't me. I wasn't that flexible naturally. I had to work really, really, really hard to be an actual good dancer. So I did. And people started to notice. So then I started to feel special from an external thing, right? I did things outside of me to create people outside of me noticing me. Then I felt special. What's the problem with that? I looked for external validation from other people to feel special. And then I felt okay with myself until I didn't, right? Or until I didn't book the dance job later in life when I was 19, 20. And then that determined, oh my God, I'm not special anymore because I didn't book the dance job. So that's the problem with putting your level of specialness in someone else. Now your level of specialness and how you feel about yourself is determined if, in my case, you book the dance job or you get noticed in class or you get called out. So the first time I can remember really feeling special was when I worked really, really, really fucking hard and I got noticed. Well, and then what happened? Well, me and my dance teacher started getting close. I started to be the favorite. All the little girls wanted to learn from Miss Allie. The little girls would line up and be like, can you give me a Miss Allie bun? And I would put their little hair in a messy bun. And even to this day, you can ask Justin, not anymore because they've all kind of graduated now, like the ones that I really taught. But a few years ago, I took Justin to the dance studio to meet everyone. And they all, he goes, you would think a celebrity walks into the fucking room. They're like, Miss Allie. And I let that make me feel special, this external thing. So I decided, okay, the more I please and approve other people, the more special that I can be. So that was my first kind of realization of like, wait, I can be seen as special if I kind of manipulate how these people kind of like see about me. Well, what was kind of funny, what was actually going on was the universe was kind of giving me one big fucking pity donut because I didn't actually feel special. I felt so not special that the universe and my higher self had to be like, someone make this girl feel special. She's down in the fucking dumps. Like, make everyone just fangirl over her when she like walks in the fucking dance studio. And so anyway, to this day, my dance teacher and I are really close because of this time where I worked really, really hard to be seen and be noticed. But now the problem with this is I didn't create that from a balanced place. I actually felt so not special and was in this, I had a creator field that wrote, give me validation, give me validation. And then I created getting validation. Well, the problem with that is it doesn't last very long because then what happened is, I moved to LA. Well, there's going to be dance jobs that I don't book. And so the dance jobs that I wouldn't book, I would go down a spiral because I was relying on people outside of me in dance to tell me I was good to feel like I was special. And I had to book a dance job to feel as though I was special. So when I wouldn't book a dance job or when I wouldn't do good in class or when I felt like I wouldn't do good in class or when I wouldn't get called out in dance class, like in LA, I once again would be like, fuck, like I'm not special. So the problem with putting your specialness in the outside is you are now relying on other people to decide if you're going to feel special today or not. So what happens is there's two different types of souls that are here. There's younger souls and then there's older souls. Okay. So before we talk about you guys who are an older soul, okay, an older soul knows the value of obstacle and of struggle in life. Okay. And things that we fail at and how much it can teach us that we will grow and learn so much more from a failure than we will learn from success. An older soul understands that. An older soul understands that we will learn so much more from failure than we will from success and from a win. Okay. And you can just look at your own life. Go back to the hardest moments in your life, and you're going to realize, oh my God, I definitely grew in that time. And if we're not growing, we're dying. And how many times have you been comfortable in life and have you been motivated? When we're comfortable in life, we're not very motivated. You know what I mean? If it's kind of why, kids who are born into billionaire families and their parents don't really their parents just allow them access to the money, that those kids don't really have much drive then. And then they end up a lot of them end up addicted to drugs, or a lot of them end up just not really having any drive in life because they've just been comfortable their whole entire lives, right? And it's one thing to get born into a family of billionaires or multimillionaires or whatever, but your parents aren't really giving you access. But the ones who are given access, they get very complacent in life real fucking quick. So you know that at the hardest moments of your life are the moments where you grew the most. And now looking back, now that you're out of a hard moment, I bet there's few things you would actually want to go make different because of the qualities and the lessons and growth those times brought you. So even though I didn't like going through obstacles, I definitely grew so much more in such a short amount of time. And it's pretty profound how fast we can grow in obstacles. And the higher self knows this, okay? Our higher self has source knowledge. Obviously, how could it not? So, a higher self, as it creates your physical body, because it chooses every aspect of it, it chooses your pinky toenail, it chooses the way your nose is shaped. It chooses the way each hair falls on your head. It chooses if you have a cowlick in your hair. It chooses the way your eyelashes are shaped. It chooses the way your teeth are built. I mean, it chooses the lines on your palm. It chooses everything that is crafted perfectly based on what you need to do in this lifetime. Okay. So our higher self chooses every aspect of our physical life too, just like it chooses our body. It chooses our parents. It chooses where we're going to live. It chooses the type of life you're going to have. It chooses if you're going to grow up in hot or cold weather. It chooses the pets you're going to have. It chooses the obstacles that are going to come in. It chooses all of it, okay? From literally if you're going to have a pet fucking fish or a pet rabbit, or you're going to hate pets or whatever it is, it chooses it. It chooses, are you going to have one of your parents leave you at 3 years old, right? Are you going to have your dad cross over when you're 7 years old? It chooses all of it. So your higher self chooses all of this, okay? Now, an older soul like you guys who are drawn to listen to this and be here today, and this is a fact, a source truth, an older soul has a lot more to remember in the course of a lifetime. Okay. So if you can recall, when you get into these physical bodies, we don't have access to the infinite knowledge that we had when we created our bodies, right? We know everything there is to know and we're fucking up here in spirit land. The second we drop down into a physical body, we forget fucking everything. I'm convinced it's why babies can't talk. If they did, they'd tell you, they'd spill all the fucking secrets of what the fuck's going on. They'd be like, yeah, I was this person in the past life and here's what I'm going to do. That's why they can't talk. So we don't that's not a source truth. That's just a joke that I make, but we don't have access to the infinite knowledge that we had before we came down into this physical world, okay? Before we created our bodies. So we need something that is going to accelerate us through and help us to download all of the information that we already know. We've already learned it in a different life, okay? So we just need something to accelerate and help us remember. You know that you've known something in a different life when you hear something and you're just like, that makes sense. Like, you hear me talk about like a reptilian and how there's reptilians in Hollywood, and you're like, yeah, that checks out. You already knew that. I was just helping you remember, right? And when I learned it, I was just being helped remembering, right? So unless there are some things that your soul's learning for the first time, you'll know when that happens because it'll just be like a little harder to understand at first. You'll get it, but it won't be like, oh yeah, duh. It'll be like, okay, wait, I have questions. Let me figure this out. Let me see where I can find this in my life or this shows up. But everything I'm saying in here, you guys are like, yeah, no, that checks out. It's because you've already learned this information. You just need help to like remember, basically. So we always need something that's going to accelerate us through and help us download all the information that we already know. It's a soul memory your soul just has. So now, the more information that you have acquired that is relevant in a lifetime, it's not like there's going to be like a magical document in front of you and you're going to read it and take it seriously and be like, okay, oh, this is how the world works. This is how I know I'm special. Like, you're not just going to get a magical book when you're like 6 years old that says how the world works and how to know that you're special and like all this information, because you won't take it seriously. And that's just like not how humans work. Okay. So even if there was a magical book with everything that you've already learned that you need to know for this lifetime, you wouldn't take it seriously. So what the higher self knows is that through obstacle, we wake up, our consciousness expands, we show up and we become more like hardened, but in a good way. Like, we develop our muscles. We become used to obstacles. We have thicker skin. We can move through obstacles easier. And you know, like the saying, what doesn't kill us makes us stronger. The higher self, that's like their catchphrase. It's like, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And our higher self, even though things can feel really hard, would never put us through something that we actually cannot handle, that would actually literally, actually kill us. So it's their motto of life. And the older of a soul you are, the more information there is to recall from past lifetimes and remember in this lifetime. Okay. Cue even more obstacles for the older soul. Fun, but worth it. And you grow way quicker. So, and with all that information, the obstacles are the only way to accelerate that download, right? That past information coming back to you and you remembering. So, one of the things that you will find is that if you were looking at your life and asking why, why has it been so much harder than the other people I know? Like, why is it so much harder than their lives and all the success they've gotten? Why have other people gotten more success? Right? Like, why does it seem like they've gone through so much? Why does it seem like I've gone through so much more than them? I had this moment the other day on the phone with COO Sarah. Long story short, I created a reflection of our old tax team fucking up royally our 2024 taxes before we got a new tax team who were like elite. Old tax team royally fucked up our 2024 taxes to the point where it's going to take like a full year to get the IRS now off of our backs, because now they're going through every single penny that I have spent. Because once they find one thing, they're going to find everything. And not that I'm like doing anything wrong, but old tax people fucked up how they submitted the taxes or what the W-2s of the salary. I don't know, I'm really bad at tax terms, but like some shit got fucked up, not because of us, because of like them. Well, because my creator field created it, but it wasn't anything my human did. But my creator field, yes, definitely created them fucking it up. Anyway, I was on the phone with CEO Sarah yesterday and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, there's people out there who are fucking like taking everyone's money and they're doing dark things with it. But is she getting caught? No, it's me. It's me, the one who just wants to help people fucking feel better. And I just start going down a rabbit hole. Like I express my human while I simultaneously like know it's a reflection and like I'm cool. But like I was just like expressing my human to Sarah. And at any moment I can switch out of it, but it's like fun sometimes. So and I like to make things funny, like obstacles fun and funny. I've done it since I've been like 19. I've just like made light and jokes out of my obstacles. But anyway, that's kind of my point of this is it can seem like life is so much harder and so many more obstacles for an older soul than it is for a younger soul. And so you older souls tend to compare yourself to younger souls and you're like, why? Why? Like you're kind of like, wait, I'm like I actually care about myself and I actually like do the work and you're over here not doing the work and doing cocaine on the weekends, but yet you have less obstacles than me. Like, excuse me, like, can I help you? How's this happening? It's a gift, even though it doesn't feel like one. It is a gift. You have been a younger soul at some point and you have earned the right out of all your lifetimes and all the pain through all your lifetimes to be an older soul in this lifetime. So it's a gift and you'll continue to see why. Anyway, you'll see why throughout this podcast episode. So whenever you're like, why does it seem like I've gone through so much more than them? It's just because you're an older soul. And and sometimes you might even be like, I have so much less to show for my life than other people, right? Who here has felt that? Like, I have so much less to fucking show for my life than other people who don't even give half a shit as I do about life or the ingredients or the feeling good or being a better version of myself, right? Very, very normal. I have felt these feelings my whole entire life. And even yesterday, it still creeped up for me in the tax situation. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, they're auditing me. Really? Well, they're not auditing me yet. Let's see if I can like shift that. But they could, depending on, the situation at hand. But yeah, so I was like, really? We really have to do this? Anyway, while all also knowing my creator field created it. So if you want to know why, so you don't get audited, is because I audit myself. So I like think of sidebar, but I think of all the times the past fucking week or month of my life, all the times where I'm like, oh, I could have done that better there. Oh, I should have said that better there. Like, oh, like I could have been a better teacher here. I could have said that different here. I audit myself. So I like go back in the past and I'm like, oh no, that should have been different here. And instead of going, oh my God, no, that was perfect because I didn't know any better in that time than I know now. It's kind of like the negative side of learning so much all the time. It's like I hate what I said 3 weeks ago because I learned so much more than what I said 3 weeks ago, and now I want to go fix it. But I have to start to go, no, it was perfect the way I explained it at that time. I didn't know any better either at that time. I have to start doing that versus like auditing my literal self. So anyway, we're not getting audited yet. Let's see if I can shift that so we don't have to. But you too can use it to not get audited. Anyway, back to my original podcast. So you may feel like I have so much less to show than these other people. Well, that is exactly the life of an older soul. And it's very normal and it's very cool, actually. So now it is not the only requirement, but it's what the higher self schedules and chooses. So it's like what the ingredients are that it chooses for a lifetime so that you go through 1,000 obstacles. You have 1,000 different essentially packets of soul knowledge that you realize in this lifetime. Okay. So, for example, if I wouldn't have this tax thing where I could potentially like get audited or whatever, I wouldn't realize, oh my God, wait, I'm doing that to myself. Let me stop doing that. And if I would have kept doing that to myself, I would have created way worse problems down the line, right? So for each obstacle, you get a like little packet of a lesson to take with you and shift and grow and to get to the next level of your life. So while this is a very effective process for increasing our knowledge, Again, not understanding this process, it works against us if we don't understand how this works. You probably have felt this work against you in your life at some point. I know I have. We think it's the beings we are that because I've had more challenges, because I'm constantly in challenge after challenge after challenge, I must be doing things wrong. We don't even ever consider that maybe all of this was scheduled by our higher self, which it was. And the fact that we are getting through obstacle after obstacle after obstacle after obstacle, we're missing that part. We're missing the point that we overcame all of these obstacles and we are so remarkable for doing that. But instead, we go the other way. We go human and we're going, well, if I was really special and amazing and smart and talented, I wouldn't be suffering like this. I wouldn't be going through these obstacles. But the problem is, this is what the younger souls of the planet will tell you. You've probably read a book or heard a podcast or had a coach that was a younger soul that probably did tell you this. And again, there's no bad or good, like younger versus older. You have all been a younger soul as well. You've just been reincarnated more. That's it. It's like a first grader isn't any worse than a 12th grader. The 12th grader's just been in school longer. Makes sense. So there's no like less than souls. Okay. I just want to preface this. But this is what the younger souls of the planet will tell you is the newer souls with less experience are going to tell you if you really were talented and good and had it figured out, you would be through this obstacle already. And that's probably what you see online too. Like, oh, if I really figured it out, like I would be through this obstacle already, just like this person online. But what you're not doing is you're not pulling back the veil using your intuition and seeing, is this person an older soul? Is this person a younger soul? Like, are we even like close to the same age as a soul? Like, should I even be taking their advice? Like, are we on the same soul planet right now? But we don't do that. We just like compare, right? So what we've talked about mastery before, and mastery is knowing all there is to know about something and integrating all there is to integrate into physical action. And this is the agenda of the higher self, is to master things if you are an older soul. So this idea, this perception that struggle means you're not special, you're not talented, you're not good at this, it's something that needs to be pulled out of your brain, pulled out from your emotions and pulled out from your belief system. And you need to understand this from the higher self perspective, that the more you go through, the more you understand, the more you wake up to your potential, the more you download of your higher self knowledge, your higher self skill sets, and the more you bring all this into life, the higher potential you have in life, and the more elite you become in life. And I'll also let you know that your higher selves chose you. They chose you. They chose these lives as a leader and as a teacher. It chose something that you were going to need your skills for. It chose something that you were going to need your soul knowledge realized into physical form. So this idea that struggle means you're not special, that you're not as smart, that you're not as equipped is completely false. If you can start to look at this from the source truth, it is going to make this so much easier for you and life so much easier. Like, if you can realize, oh my God, I've been led the wrong path. I've been listening to people on a soul level who are younger than me, and it's not actually the truth. Beings who are going to actually change the world are the ones who have gone through the most obstacles and have had the hardest time. We need to start to see people from the inside out, not what they have on the outside, and deciding from there. And we need to start to recognize when we are around younger souls or when we are around older souls. Okay. We need to start to like know which one we're listening to. But when we need to start to see people from the inside out. Okay. We need to start to know who they are from the inside. Okay. Inside, underneath all the external things that you've decided are making them successful. And this is why right now in the world, there's kind of like this sort of thing where everyone is kind of getting over the fakeness of, they'll say fakeness of social media, right? You kind of see it happening in the world where people are no longer liking the fake stuff and they just want what's actually going on. It's this, that's like the human desire. Underneath that's the soul desire to see the inside first. That's your intuitive pull to see the inside first. So, going back to the idea of the older soul and what the older soul creates. It chooses your life. It chooses how you're going to look. It chooses your parents. It chooses every obstacle, everything that happens throughout your life. It has already chosen. It knows. It's so smart. It knows how you're going to react to a situation and what situation to put you in to get you to react a certain way so that that reaction causes you to understand this lesson, so that that lesson causes you to believe in yourself more over here, so that you believe in yourself more over here allows you to be in front of these people over here. So being in front of these people over here allows you to make more money here. Like, it is so fucking intelligent and smart. And it chooses every single thing. And what it also chooses is it chooses a thing, a soul pull, if you will, that only you can fulfill in this lifetime. You are perfectly built, okay, between your soul knowledge, your physical body, all the obstacles that have happened, who you are internally, the humor that you bring, the attributes that you hold, how they shape, how it all shapes you throughout the earlier years of your life. And in particular, the skill sets that arise from the obstacles, the rough stories, the rough memories, the rough experiences, the hardships you went through, make you into a perfect person. It was all chosen to make you perfect. A perfect person, and the only person who can do the thing that the higher self chose to contribute in this lifetime. The only person. Nobody else was born with your exact stories, with your exact memories, with your exact voice, with your exact DNA, with your exact soul makeup, with your exact soul contract, with your exact physical body, with your exact DNA. No one else, literally nobody else. It's not the tools or what you do or what you make or what you create that make you special. It is you. It is the person behind those things that make those things special. It's why I teach what I teach and I say, go teach it to your people, whatever, because it's not the tools that make me special. It's Ali, right? No one can replicate Ali. No one can replicate anyone in this room. You can't do it. So now that can be explained by you have soul contracts, that there are people who you are going to attract, who you are going to have their undivided attention, and you are going to have a profound impact in their lives. You already have contracts for those people, and they are going to go on and change the world, okay? Like, we've already, even us in this room, we've had a soul contract that like, we're going to know each other. It's going to be a fun time, right? Like, you already have a soul contract with all the people that you need in your life to do and create the things that you need to do and create. Now, where people get caught up is they just think, oh, well, if I have a soul contract, like, I don't need to do anything. while your soul contract is a guaranteed possibility. Okay. The guaranteed part means it's guaranteed that it's in your soul contract. The possibility part is, are you, the human, going to create a creator field that allows that to happen? So we can't sit back and go, oh, whatever, it's my soul contract. If it's meant to be, it will be. That's the worst piece of spiritual fucking advice I've ever heard. Anyone who tells you it's meant to be, it will be, tell them to fuck right off, because it's the worst advice I've ever heard. Because it's not what will happen, because you'll get lazy, you'll get complacent, you won't program your creator field, you won't take the right actions, and then you won't make your soul pull happen, your soul contract happen. Because soul contracts are guaranteed possibilities. It doesn't matter if your higher self orchestrated like you to go be a billionaire. If you don't get your human on board with that by seeing how special you are, by programming the right self-image ingredients into your field, by doing the right actions that support your self-image, a high level of self-image into your field, you're not going to get it, right? So yeah, it's guaranteed that it's in your soul contract, but the possibility part is the human going to get itself on board with the soul? And that's what we're doing right now. We're getting you to see how special you are. So it's not an excuse. Just because our higher self plans everything is not an excuse to sit back, relax, and let the ride happen. You're not going to get it. It won't happen. So important part to mention. Okay. So people have soul contracts that they're going to be president. They have soul contracts they're going to create a brand. They have soul contracts they're going to create a clothing line. I mean, whatever it is, you have a soul contract for. And there's so many versions of this. But you are here to do something that your higher self chose every single good thing, and especially every single negative memory, especially every single negative memory from your life, every single obstacle, to get you 100% ready for what it is you are here to do. Your formula, your unique formula that makes up you, is going to be very different from even if you had a twin. Even if you have a twin, your formula is still going to be very, very different from your identical twin. There are going to be things that shape you in a way that you are going to be inspired by, and have a heart pull to your soul path, soul pull, that only you could do. Have you guys ever seen the experiment of the two twins getting raised in the same household? One turned into like a drug addict, the other one turned into like a successful CEO of a company, right? Not that any path is right or wrong or good or bad. Like there's lessons in both of those paths. But just to give you an example, like you can literally be a twin, look alike, grow up in the same household, and have two totally different perspectives of life on purpose based from our higher self, right? And neither are good or bad. Like the drug addict one is probably going to have some wake up call and help a lot of fucking people down the road. Maybe that's the intention, right? The CEO is probably going to have some realization of, oh my God, this never brought me the fulfillment that I needed to let me fulfill myself on the inside. All are very, very, very for a purpose. And it's your hardships and your memories and all the other things, the inspirations and the moments that you were told you were not special, that has made you special. Because what happens is the law of opposing forces starts to happen, okay? You get told you're not special. You get things playing back to you that make you not feel special. You get parents ignoring you, dance teachers ignoring you, whatever it is that make you not feel special. You finally at some point start to push back. You start to law of opposing forces, everyone. You start to go, no, I am special. So that's what happens. And it happens slower if you don't have this information, faster if you understand this information. But naturally, that's the cycle that happens. It's the combination of all these things that if you are towards the, 700th lifetime and you are here to fulfill source contracts and obligations and change the world, I'm telling you right fucking now, all this stuff means that you are so much more special than you know yourself to be. The more people who tell you you're not special, the more you are special. The more it's a sign that you are fucking special. It's kind of like, I hope people call me crazy because that means I'm doing something right. Kind of same thing. Hope that someone like doesn't think you're special. That means you're so much more fucking special. Like even think back to high school, like the people who were very, very, I don't know, popular or like the football star or whatever in high school, we all decided they're so special. What are they doing now? I don't know, right? And it's kind of like the more someone's telling you you're special at a younger age, probably the less special you are, and then at a younger age, the more you don't feel special, the more you actually are special. So you were specifically built to do something that quite literally no one else could do. Because if that were not true, then you would find there were another person or 50 other people or 10,000 other people that were here to do your exact soul path, that had your exact memories, that had your exact experiences, that somehow, some way, someone in Japan had your parents and have the same exact memories of you, right? That's what that would mean if that wasn't true. But what you're going to find is you open up your intuitive gifts, which you can do in level 1 intuition with Emma. It's now open. And you learn to scan and see people from the inside out and yourself from the inside out, and to see their potentials and the things that their higher self chose to do in this lifetime. You are going to see that your unique soul pull is only one you can fulfill. I read a lot of souls, a lot of people's energy all the time. There has never been, to this day, two people with the same exact soul pull that they both can go fulfill that same one. Never, ever, ever, ever. Never. And this is really important to understand today because this is the very thing that like allowed me to start to really believe in myself. So with all of these things that we've talked about, all the physical experiences that are saying you are not special, whether it's someone directly saying it to you or like someone acting that out to you and it makes you feel not special, right? My dance teacher never said you're not special, but it sure made me feel not special, right? With all the physical experiences that are saying you're not special, which hopefully right now you're like, wait a minute, anything that's saying I'm not special, that is going to make me know that I am special because you're going to rise up against it. You're going to love opposing forces that eventually. So if anything, the way the universe works is the thing that is coming up for you from the outside that has like spikes and it's like throwing itself at you. It's like throwing itself like onto you and saying you are not this. That is actually factually confirming that you are actually the opposite of what was just said or acted out to you. Because that is how our system is designed. If you can start to see this, it's going to make your life a lot easier. So I want you to ask yourself, like, what would be the, why not try and feel special, right? Like, what's the harm in thinking that you might be special? So you might be like, okay, well, if I am special, then I have to tell everyone. I have to tell everybody I'm special. Everyone has to know I'm special. I did this. I did that. I created this. I have this. I can do that. I need to tell everyone. No, don't do it. Don't tell everybody. That's why, like, even in, you guys are all very intuitive. So sometimes I'll get like DMs of like, were you this person in a past life? Or like my intuition level 5 class, like they're just fucking intuitive so that they can like see things. And you just don't say anything. Like you don't say anything. You don't tell people your past lives. You don't tell people your soul frequency. You don't tell people your house fucking, special. You don't tell people because if you feel the need to tell people, it means that you actually don't feel special. If you feel a need to verbally tell somebody like how special you are, it doesn't have to look like, oh, I'm special. It could be like, I blah, 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 blah. I was this person in a past life. I'm blah, 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 blah. It it comes off as like I need to prove that I'm a certain way. Okay? It's like there's a like you don't have to verbally say it. what I want to explain is if you truly know you are special, there is this really cool law of the universe. I don't really talk about it much. It's called the law of amplification. The law of amplification. And if you do not mention or talk about how special you are, this law essentially it like builds a lot of pressure and it will build and build and build and build the amplification. But if you start saying, I'm special here, you start to let the air out of the amplifier, right? So you could walk into a room never having said, like, I'm special, never having to tell people that. You can walk into a room and just know you're special. Your creator field is screaming, I'm fucking special. I'm a magnet. People will feel it. They'll flock toward you. But if you're going around having to tell everyone how special you are, that amplification gets a little bit pressure released here, a little bit pressure released here, a little bit pressure released here. Now, when you walk into a room, you don't have that like big, loud creator field anymore. When we had the queens here for the Dallas just in-person free like workshop, one of the queens said, oh my gosh, like they said a really amazing compliment, but I'll tell you the compliment they said about Sarah and Emma. She was like, I can just feel their like radiance from their energy. Like they just feel so bright. Like I can just feel like they're really magnetic. It's because they're not going around and going, I'm special. I should tell you that I'm special and I'm really good at doing this. They know it, but it stays in their knowing and then it goes into their creator field and then people can just read it. If you're out here saying I'm special, one, the law of amplification will then work against you. But two, you don't actually fully believe it because you feel like you've got to say it to like prove something. So this idea that this knowing that you are special, you've got two ways you can go with it. You can constantly say you're special and you let the pressure kind of dissipate and go out. Or you can engage another law of the universe, and that's the law of the inside out voice. And in you saying you're special, but not fully believing it, you are going to have people kind of come back and retaliate and say, you are definitely not special. If you are saying you're special and you are saying it, you definitely don't feel special. So other people are going to mirror back to you it's called inside out voice. They're going to tell you out on the outside what your actual voice is on the inside. So if you're like, I'm special, but you don't feel like it because you don't because you're saying it, they're going to be like, no, you're not. Like, no. That's why and in my earlier marketing days, I didn't do well with this law, but I would like talk about how incredible the course is and how special the course is. And if I do that, people are going to find reasons why it's not, right? They're going to law of opposing forces me. But if I just feel like it's special and I'm just like, hey, here's my course, here's what's going on, like it's for you here, it's not for you here, but I'm not having to explain how fucking special the course is, I'm more likely to get people wanting to take the course because they can just feel that it's special instead of having to like oppose me. So if you lock into this inner knowing that you are truly special, there are no laws that you have to tell another single person on the planet how you know yourself to be, how you view yourself, because they already know, because you feel that way, you know you're special, it radiates in your field, they can just know. So it's crazy how many people think that if they think they're special, they have to tell people that they're special, but it really works against them when you think about these laws. Knowing you are special, the only one who is ever going to participate in that conversation and this discussion of how special you are is you. You and you can have a conversation with how special you are. And that's kind of the tools we learn to do in Glow Formula, in Glow Foundation, in the Glow Retreat, is you and you get to have that conversation and get to have that knowing, get to have that reprogramming. It's not about like sharing it out loud with somebody else. there's a lot of younger souls on the planet, and the younger souls of the planet will say, you've got to put it out there, right? You've got to project it into all these things. You've got to let people know, like, every reason and every way why you're special, why your kid's special. See those, like, those parents who like have to tell everyone why their kid's so special. Like, they're trying to fill a void of not feeling special in themselves. So, but what happens is that dissipates the energy of special, and people will start to find ways why you're not, and it gets rid of that like bright special magnetic energy in your creator field. So it makes it so the universe will fight against you. And what I'm trying to explain is that you get this knowing, and you are the only person you are ever going to like talk about how special you are with. And even though it might be fun to like go to your partner and be like, oh my God, I'm so special because of this, it's, they're going to then find reasons, whether it's in that conversation or some other time, of why you're not. And you never want to put yourself on a pedestal, ever. If you put yourself on a pedestal, people will take you down. When influencers do apology videos, always for, because their PR team makes them, even if they actually, sometimes they did something out of alignment, sometimes it like people take something such a wrong way. Anyway, not the point. When influencers do apology videos, I've noticed, and it's probably the PR team telling them to do this, it's usually when they're fresh out the shower, no makeup, they're in a sweatshirt, they're not looking all great, because they're trying to now bring themselves down and make themselves more relatable. So the apology is like accepted and no one can take them off a pedestal anymore. But what happens is they're on a pedestal, they say one thing that someone doesn't like, well, now people are going to drag them. Versus if they don't have themselves on one, they're way, way, way less likely to get like canceled. Like, I used to think in my earlier days of having a business, like I couldn't share my own reflections, or else people wouldn't like think I'm good at what I do, because I shouldn't have reflections if I'm good at what I do. And then now we know with this podcast today, the more obstacles you have, the more you're here to, learn and grow, right? So I used to not share my reflections because I would be so scared. But then I noticed people were starting to put me on a pedestal, and I said, oh no, that's not good. But I found out that that's not good the hard way, because I had like, some students at the time like get mad at me for literally having a reflection that I told them about. They all decided, oh my God, Allie can't have reflections. They're being my inside out voice. So then I started to realize, oh my gosh, I have to share my reflections, or else people are going to think that I don't have any. And that's not fucking true at all. Like I say, or like Al said that one time in the podcast, how his reflections have reflections. I'm like, literally, yes, like my reflections have reflections. So I got to tell him. So you always want to make sure you're not on some pedestal, because if you're saying you're special and you're outwardly talking about it, people will find a way to poke holes to drag you down. I'd rather balance myself out than have the world balance me out and like humble me. I'd rather you should humble yourself. So you're not going to say this out loud to another human. Okay. So now the question is, what is, the thing in starting to convince yourself that you are special if you do not have to tell another person about this? Like, why would I convince myself I'm special if I can't tell anyone about it? Well, again, that again is another human thing that we're like, why would I do something if I can't tell somebody else about it, right? How many times is it like, picture didn't happen, or like if I don't post about this vacation, I wasn't here, or that kind of thing, right? Like, why we're built to like do things so that we can tell other people that we did it. So if we shouldn't tell other people we're special, why even do all the work to actually rewire our brain to match the level of special that our soul actually is? So the idea of what is what's the deal in viewing yourself as a special person and starting to build up all these reasons to see this. So if you don't include the outside world, which you wouldn't want to do because of all those laws, why would I want to feel special? So we want to feel special because that then is what helps us rewire our creator field. That is what helps us create a new reality around us. If we start having thoughts about how special we are, we start to create new belief systems, we start to create new knowings, we start to create new actions that's based on feeling special. We now have a new creator field that says, I am special. And if we're not telling anyone about it, how special we are, it's now really amplified with feeling really special. And so now people just, you stick out to people like in a room. People are like, I don't know why, but like, I need them for what I'm doing. Or I don't know why, but I need to buy what they're selling. I don't know why, but I need to take them on a date. I don't know why, but I need to marry them. You know, like by then they'd probably know why they want to marry you, but if they already know you, but you have a creator field that writes like, there is no one like me. Good fucking luck trying to find anyone like me. And it starts to create this really, really cool thing in your life. You want a book deal? I mean, you have that written, you're getting the book deal. You want the person to invest in your idea, you have that written in your field. They're investing in your fucking idea. Their thoughts are literally going to be, this idea is special. This person's special. I'm not going to get an idea or a person like this ever again. Like, I got to take this person up on their idea. And it's going to create a lot of opportunities for you in your life. So, you know how like when you visualize like your favorite meal, and I ask you to like smell it, to taste it, to imagine yourself eating it, to imagine it like sitting in front of you right now, you start to like maybe even get like your mouth starts to like salivate a little bit. Like you start to get like actually hungry for it. Or I tell you something that makes you anxious and you start to actually have your heart race, right? Like your body will change right away based on your thoughts. So what happens right away is the second you have those thoughts, like your mouth starts to water, your stomach starts to like growl a little bit, or you start to, if it's an anxious thought, you start to have your heart race, right? And your physicality starts to change and your actions are going to start to change right away. So what I'm getting at is there is an amazing process that happens that people are unaware of and that we have talked about. But when you put a program in your head, like I am special, and you do it the right way, like with the tools we have inside of All Things Glow, we connect it to the right physical actions, we connect it to the right proof, we get ourselves proving that belief to be true. What happens is your body is actually going to start to reorder itself. It's why people are like, we've had a lot of queens start to look even younger or more youthful or like healthier in their face and their body because your body literally starts to respond and reorder itself to this new I'm special. Okay. So just the way your mouth releases saliva and starts to like make the mouth ready to eat. So like the food enzymes can like break down, right? The same thing happens when you're going, I am special, and you're proving it to yourself, right? Now, there's a difference between logically going, I'm special, and emotionally connecting to it. We learn that inside the Glow courses. But there are chemical reactions and there's muscles changing and there's cells changing, and that's instantly happening. And our brain is instantly changing and rebuilding according to that new brain reprogramming statement. Now, I don't do affirmations. This is a brain reprogramming statement, okay? And I want you to see the difference. Like affirmations are just logically telling yourself something. Reprogramming your actual brain is emotionally connecting and proving to yourself little tiny reasons why you're special. Again, we go through that process in inside the Glow formula and Glow foundation. But what your brain does is it goes through and starts to tweak your nervous system, starts to tweak your muscles, it tweaks your brain programs, and it actually starts to go, it starts to see how, you know, we are special. Now, if we don't feel special and if we keep finding reasons why we don't feel special, Our brain will do the same thing. It will tweak your nervous system, it will tweak your muscles, it will tweak your brain programs, and it will go, we're not special. And it will actually shut down anything that would give you an edge. Anything that would make you special, anything that would make you unique and that's positive, your brain will literally shut that very thing down about you if you don't feel special. So imagine how many of your gifts are shut down right now because you don't feel special. And you're going to keep proving it to yourself you don't feel special because your gifts are so shut down because you don't feel 1 in 8 billion special. If you felt 1 in 8 billion special, imagine how many of your gifts would be opened up. Like insane. So just like how a positive, expansive belief works for us, well, these beliefs of I'm not special, they're working against us and they're actually shutting down your gifts, like as we fucking speak. So the idea, if you're special, if you think, like if you just think it in your head, it's not going to work. You've got to embody it and feel it in your body. Okay. Now, one last thing, because I could go on, I could go on and on about this topic for so long, but I know we've been here for an hour and 11 minutes so far. But one last thing, and we continue on in this deeply in all things glow, but, and we do a lot of embodiment work around this in the glow retreat, but which, there's one coming up in October in Dallas. Anyway, I'm very excited about it. Anyway, I don't know if I was supposed to tell you that. Sorry, my team. Okay. Anyway, one last thing before we kind of bring this to a close, because I could sit here for 20 hours and discuss this very topic, which we will in Glow. But it's a dark force thing. And I don't want you to blame yourself for this, because the other thing that we need to realize is the system has been used against us. Okay. So this is something that has been set up in our system, in our physical world, to work against us. Our physical world has been designed to make you not feel special. So it's not our fault. It's something we've taken on, but the system was not designed. It is our responsibility to shift, though, if we do want like a thriving life. But the system was designed to make you very disconnected from how special you are. I mean, everything since you were 3 years old and your parents told you, I'm so proud of you, seems like a positive thing. But what's that doing? What's it doing? It's having someone else tell you they're so proud of you for you to feel proud of yourself. What the dialogue should be is, oh my God, I love your drawing. Are you proud of yourself? Not, oh my God, I love your drawing. I'm so proud of you. Not that any parent has bad intentions with saying, I'm so proud of you. Of course they don't, right? But even that, what seems like a positive thing, has been put onto us to condition us to get our proudness of ourselves from the outside. So instead of, I'm so proud of you, oh my God, I love your drawing. Are you proud of yourself for making that? And I have to even watch it. Like, I'll feel so deeply happy and excited for students. Like when I hear like they're students of the programs, we're all students of each other. I hate saying students. We're all students, but in the programs, like a Glow Queen or whoever, I'll get so happy and excited when I hear the results, and I have to watch myself and be like, I'm so proud of you. Who gives a fuck if I'm proud of you? Like, are you proud of yourself? Who cares if I'm proud of you? Right. So I have to be like, oh my God, I'm so happy for you. Like, I'm so excited for you. Right. I have to watch that because I want to say I'm so proud because I feel that, but who gives a fuck if I'm proud? Like, are you proud? That's what matters. So, and I know all of you guys are really incredible hearted, empathetic people. And so you'd be like, why would there be people out there who, you know, would negatively have these things to set us up for failure? Well, if you're not in Fuck Dark Forces, I'll give you a quick little rundown. People of the world who set up these systems can be in such a fear-based place that they actually do negative things and put out negative things into the world because they're so in fear and they want to feel powerful. So they need you out of your power so they can feel powerful, essentially. So from like the school systems to the media to Hollywood, all of these things have been placed very, very intentionally to keep you from your power. And, of course, that's a whole other rabbit hole we could go down. That's a dark forces course thing to get into. But I just wanted to remind you that it is not your fault. However, if you do want to access your greatest potential and you are tired of not seeing that special and uniqueness, and you do want to unlock those gifts that you've been shutting down by not feeling special, it is your responsibility. So I'll close the loop there, even though I could go on and on and on for 27,000 hours about this very topic. But we covered a lot today. Re-listen, 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 re-listen. And you will have an opportunity to dive even deeper in this soon. I am going to be doing a whole new version of the Glow formula. Like, I thought the Glow formula was, I thought I liked it before, but I'm like, nope, we've got to redo it naturally. So I am going to be teaching Glow Formula Level 1 all over again, but live, which is going to be really exciting. But before that, we have like a prereq and all of that. So we'll see like when we'll launch that level 1, but we'll do the prereq first. But we have that coming to get excited about. Okay, everyone, I am going to jump into now a Q&A with the membership queens. If you feel FOMO of the Q&A, you can get in and watch the recording of it at any time. And another perk of the membership is that you get any like live free pop-up webinar that I've been doing lately. After 2 days of you being able to access them, they live in the membership then after that. Okay, I will see you guys next week. Bye.